Hello lovelies and welcome back to the channel. I'm finally filming my first and second trimester recap. I'm so sorry if you can hear Jay screaming. He's watching the football and obviously his team has scored. So sorry. Also, you might be thinking, wow, she has got the pregnancy glow. No huns, it's sweat. It's 35 degrees currently in the UK. We're going for a heat wave, so I'm really hot. And Rosa, our 2-year-old, has misplaced the control for our fan, so I can't have it on because it's on full blast and you won't be able to hear me if I have the fan on at the same time. So I'm just gonna sit here and sweat, it's okay. Okay, so I'm only gonna do a very quick first trimester recap because I have already done a video on our trying to conceive journey and my first trimester symptoms. So I'm just gonna run through my first trimester really quick, but I will put up the video on screen somewhere so you can go and check it out. So, baby number 2 is planned and me and Jay were trying to conceive for around 6 months. I miscarried in the January. We decided to start trying again straight away and I fell pregnant straight away. I fell pregnant in the February. I didn't have any symptoms the second time around, but I just had this urge that I needed to take a test. And I did, and it was a big fat positive, which was totally different to the tests I'd done in January. So I had a good feeling about it. So my symptoms, I had spotting and cramping from 5 weeks to 6.5 weeks. The spotting stopped, but the cramps have sort of continued on and off. Nothing wild, like they're not even like period cramps really. And then the lovely nausea decided to just come in and get me at around 6.5 weeks, which was the same with Rosa. And I really struggled with nausea. It was 24/7, morning to night. It never stopped. I did not get a break from feeling sick or vomiting. It was really hard. I did go to my GP to get anti-sickness tablets at around 8 weeks, which did take the edge off because there was a couple of times when I ran out of my pills, so I couldn't take them, and I saw a difference for sure when I wasn't taking my anti-sickness. It was way more intense, like I could not function. So it definitely took the edge off, but unfortunately nothing eliminates pregnancy nausea or vomiting. It's just one of them pregnancy symptoms you have to just ride out. And I was really lucky this time around that the sickness sort of eased off around 16 weeks, whereas with Rosa, I was really sick up until 22, 23 weeks. Then it came back in the last trimester. So the last sort of symptom I had in my first trimester were headaches. They are still here, not as many and not as painful. My headaches in the first trimester were pretty much constant and not even paracetamol would get rid of them. So again, something else I just had to ride out. But yeah, thankfully they're not every day anymore. It's one every so often. So that is really my first trimester in a, what's the saying, nutshell? In a shell? Oh, I don't know. Baby brain's real. I tell you, I'm really struggling with baby brain at the moment. And I have been actually pretty much the entire pregnancy. I just can't, my brain does not want to just get the words out, and then it's hard work. So bear with me, I'm really sorry. So yeah, that is my first trimester. Like I said, if you want a more in-depth chat about my first trimester, then I will link the video on screen somewhere and you can go and check it out. So, second trimester, which I believe is from 16 weeks up until 27 or 28 weeks. And as I am filming this, I am currently 29 weeks, 2 days. So I have kind of just entered my 3rd trimester. So in this part of the video, I'm going to do a 2nd trimester recap. So I'm going to talk about my symptoms and everything else that I've experienced in my 2nd trimester. And I'm also going to answer your Instagram questions, because I did put out a question box a few days ago, and I said, if you have any questions that you really want me to answer in this video, I will answer them for you. So there are just a few questions that I'm going to answer in this video. So I definitely had an energy boost around 18 weeks, which has now worn off. But it was nice to have energy again, and I was motivated again, and I felt a bit more myself, which I did with Rosa as well. I feel like my 2nd trimester is always my best trimester, just because I feel more myself. And then when you hit your 3rd trimester, you're heavy, you're a little bit fed up, aren't you? So that was the one good thing, I guess, about 2nd trimester. But things I've been really struggling with is my backache, sleep insomnia, and restless legs. Backache started around 12 weeks. I've not been able to sleep on either of my sides, and of course you're not meant to sleep on your back either when you're pregnant, because it's not safe for the baby. So I've been sleeping upright, which is really, it's not comfortable. Basically I haven't slept for 4 months, and there's nothing really you can do about backache in pregnancy, I guess. I have gone for one pregnancy massage, but to be fair, that actually made it worse, because you had to lie on your sides and then she'd massage one side at a time. But where I've got really bad backache, just literally all over, it was more painful lying on my side than anything else, so I just didn't get much from it. Sleep insomnia also, I would say I started to experience sleep insomnia from 16 weeks. I've been finding it hard to not only fall asleep but stay asleep. I'm not getting into a deep sleep at all, probably because I'm up 4 or 5 times to go for a wee. So that doesn't help, because that's just interrupted sleep in itself. But I'm just not getting into a deep sleep, and I find I will be wide awake at like 2 AM and then again at 4 AM, and then I'm not being able to get back to sleep until like 6 AM, and then Rosa is awake, so it's been really difficult. Most mornings though, to be fair, Jay will sort Rosa out and let me sleep until like 8:30, 9 o'clock if I need to. But then again, I'm still not sleeping, so I'm just laying in bed basically. So that's been really tough, not being able to sleep. But I had it with Rosa, so I expected it, but obviously having a toddler now as well makes it 100 times harder, because I'm so tired in the day, and I still want to be the best version of me for myself, for Jay, for Rosa, but it's really hard. Probably the last like 6 weeks I've just found it really hard, like mentally, physically, emotionally draining. I'm way more sensitive as it is anyway. My patience is just not really there. So yeah, it's been tough. It's been tough, but we're coping, we're fine. You know, you just have to get on with it at the end of the day, don't you? You just gotta pick yourself up and carry on, because there's not much more you can do. Dry mouth. Chronic dry mouth. My mouth is like the desert. The desert. Mainly during the night, I'll wake up around 12 o'clock, absolutely like gasping for air, and I need to down water, which doesn't help when I'm up anyway, needing to pee 4 or 5 times in the night. This just adds to it. You know when you you can sort of get it back, you can get some saliva back in? No, the only thing that waters my mouth is water, which is mad. I did experience it with Rosa a little bit in the 1st trimester, but nothing like this. This is like next level dry mouth. Heartburn as well. Or is it heartburn? It's acid reflux, but it's trapped. Like with Rosa, it was up here, so it was like, oh, it was horrific. It was so bad I had to get a prescribed sort of Gaviscon. Even that didn't do anything. Like, it was so bad with Rosa. That really kept me up as well at night. This time, it's not been here, but it's been trapped here. Severe pain under my ribs. I went for a midwife appointment last week, just like a routine one, and she was like, how are you doing, blah blah blah, and I was explaining sort of my symptoms, and on that day in particular my blood pressure was a bit higher and I'd been feeling a bit dizzy, probably because of the heat, but she was like, because you're showing signs of preeclampsia, you need to go to the hospital. So I went to the hospital, had my bloods done, was checked over by a doctor. Anyway, she was like, you haven't got preeclampsia. Your blood pressure has gone back to normal. There's no protein in your wee. So she was like, the only other thing it could be, which is causing the pain under here, is like trapped acid, which makes sense because now I'm in my 3rd trimester. It's starting to come up, like it's starting to become a problem. But even like Gaviscon, because the doctor said like, drink your normal Gaviscon, it should take the pain away, but it hasn't at all. Like, it's really, really painful and it's there constantly. And that's been a problem for probably, well, I'd say since like maybe 22 weeks. I started noticing the pain under my ribs. If anyone's experiencing the same and you've found something that helps, please comment below, because yeah, it's really painful. Like I find myself having, even like sitting up really like straight like this, it's still really painful, and it's worse if I'm like slouched over. But I know it's going to go when baby's here, so these are all just wonderful, annoying symptoms we have to deal with in pregnancy. But I wouldn't have it any other way, because I feel unbelievably blessed that I've been able to carry again for a 2nd time. So, you know, when there are hard days, I just have to remind myself, and I do remind myself, that I'm incredibly lucky. And even just like feeling her kick, it's just like, it's everything I need to be like, yeah, do you know what, this is why I'm doing it, do you know what I mean? This is why I'm going through what I'm going through. And restless legs. I suffered really bad with restless legs with Rosa, and it's not been as bad this time round. I've only had it, it's not constant, whereas with Rosa it was like pretty much constant. I had restless legs mainly in the evenings. It's mainly in the evenings this time round, and all I've done really is like elevate my legs for an hour or so, and that seems to help. That seems to take away the pain. But I don't know if there's anything you can really do about restless legs. I've not really looked into it much. So again, if you are suffering with restless legs and you found a solution to them, comment below, because I will definitely be trying out your recommendations 100%. It is roasting. I just thought, if I don't film it now, though, I'm never going to film it. So I just need to sit down and film it and deal with the heat and the sweat. So I'm really sorry that I look like this. So to wrap up my 2nd trimester, I've been dealing with all these symptoms. But one positive I'm going to say about 2nd trimester, the 2nd time around, is I feel so much more content in my body, my changing body. I feel more confident, I feel more comfortable. I feel really good this time around. Like with Rosa, I gained 3 stone altogether, and I found that really hard. Like, my body changed totally with Rosa. I just didn't even recognise myself after I gave birth. But this time around, I've put on 2 stones so far, but I just feel better. I just feel good in myself. Obviously I have days where I'm like, oh my God, like I can't find anything to wear, just look and everything. Obviously, of course I have days like that, but like I would never have worn something like this with Rosa. Just like a tight sort of like play suit, and I wear a lot of like co-ords as well, 2 pieces, like tank tops and cycling shorts, and I would never have worn that with Rosa, because my legs were a lot bigger with Rosa, as they are in this pregnancy, because that happens. My arms are a lot bigger, like everything is just wider and bigger. I don't know if it's because I don't care in this pregnancy, but I just feel more confident in myself, which has helped, definitely, because with Rosa I found myself just wearing like baggy t-shirts. But also, I was pregnant with her in our first lockdown, so we weren't allowed to go anywhere other than for a walk. So I actually just lived in, well, just pyjamas basically. Yeah, I feel just so much better this time around with everything changing. So for anyone that is struggling with body image, just know that your body is incredible and you will love yourself again. Like, there got to a point after I had Rosa, I know it was probably 12 months after I had her, but I felt confident again and I loved me. Yeah, I wasn't my size 6 to 8, I was still a 10 to 12, but I felt amazing. In fact, I felt more beautiful than I've ever felt in my whole entire life. So just know that you will get to a point after you've had your babies where you love yourself again, maybe even more than you've ever loved yourself before. And just to give yourself time, because, well, for one, time's the greatest healer, but for two, like, you're carrying a human being. Like, we are incredible, and there's a tiny little human that relies on you for everything. Everything. You don't have 2 minutes to yourself with a newborn. I mean, you do, because they nap a lot. Well, Rosa didn't because she had really bad colic, but my nephew napped a lot. But in that time, you're getting washing done. You're sorting out the house, you're cleaning the house. You might have time for a shower, but like, you don't have time for yourself with a newborn. But there comes a point where you will, or you make time. If bouncing back is really important to you, you will make time for that at the end of the day, because people do. But bouncing back is not a priority, and don't put pressure on yourself to bounce back, because at the end of the day, you are beautiful. Your body is beautiful. Any marks you get from pregnancy, I've got stretch marks, they're beautiful, and they're just a reminder of the little miracle that you've carried and brought into this world. So don't put pressure on yourself. It's okay, is all I'm trying to say. Sorry, I've just waffled on for about 15 minutes about loving yourself. Okay, I'm going to answer your questions now. I've got them written down on my phone. So I found there was a lot of repetition in the questions, so I have gone through them all. By the way, there were so many questions, I felt overwhelmed, but thank you so much to everyone that asked a question. So the first one is about where I buy my maternity clothes. The main 3 places are Shein, H&M and Pretty Little Thing. However, I haven't really bought maternity clothes. This is probably the only maternity piece of clothing I've bought in this pregnancy. I've just sized up on everything else, which has worked out fine for me. And I've just, like I said, I've just lived in tank tops and cycling shorts and baggy t-shirts, and then like things like this, or a dress. With Rosa, in like the first and second trimester, I tried really hard to be fashionable. I bought maternity jeans, like I just wanted to be that Instagram perfect pregnant woman. Do you know what I mean? That's what I really wanted. It didn't happen. So this time around I was like, do you know what, I'm just gonna go for comfort. I'm gonna be comfortable, and I don't care about anything else or what anyone thinks of me. I would say the majority of my wardrobe is Shein. H&M do brilliant shorts, so comfortable, and maternity bras. And PLT, this is from PLT, again, yeah, really, really good maternity range on PLT. The second question is, how has Rosa adapted to you being pregnant? And to be honest, I've not noticed much of a difference sort of in her or her behaviour. I mean, she's still a little madam. She's 2 and a few months, so, you know, she has her moments, she has her tantrums, she's testing me and Jay, like, as you do. So I've not noticed really a difference in her, but she is definitely aware that I'm pregnant, and she will come up to my bump and kiss it and stroke it and say baby sissy, and she likes to feel baby sissy kicking. She'll often come up to me and be like, is baby sissy kicking? So she's definitely aware there's something in there. Whether she's aware that's a human being or not, we'll obviously find out when, sorry, I say baby sissy because that's what she calls her, when baby sister's here. But yeah, so she's very like loving in that sense, very gentle, very careful with Bump, which is lovely. And the last few weeks, as I've got bigger and heavier, she has wanted to like help get me dressed. Well, help, not get me dressed, but like she'll go and get my clothes for me, bless her, and she'll want to put them up my legs for me. She'll try and help me put my shoes on. So like she's been really helpful in that aspect, which I love. She's so sweet. She's just got the funniest, cutest, lovingest, just, oh, such a scrumptious character. So yeah, I literally can't wait to see her with baby sister. I think she's going to be great. But also I'm fully expecting aspects of jealousy and that she might actually bloody hate it. Hopefully not. But I am preparing myself. Like, I'm not naive at the end of the day. As much as she like loves baby sissy in my belly, and she loves her baby dolls, and she loves other babies as well. Like, a lot of my friends have younger kids, so she just loves babies, but I'm fully expecting and preparing myself for the fact that she might really hate having to share mum and dad with her baby sister. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm going to obviously keep you posted throughout the rest of my pregnancy journey and beyond. So we're going to go through this together at the end of the day. The third question is, do we have a name yet? And yes, we do. We've had a name for a few weeks now, probably longer than that. We both wanted a name with meaning. So I spent quite a few hours researching names with a particular meaning that we want. And I finally came across one that we both absolutely loved. When I told Jay, we did actually cry. So we are pretty set on this name. We're not going to reveal her name until she's here. We haven't got a middle name for her yet. We're really struggling with a middle name. And it might be the case that she doesn't have a middle name. Like, we're not putting pressure on it. We don't want to just pluck a name out of thin air just to give her a middle name. Do you know what I mean? We want to keep it meaningful. Like, Rosa's middle names are meaningful. So we want to keep it all meaningful. The fourth question is, do I have a birth plan? And the answer is no, I don't. I didn't have one with Rosa, and I'm not going to have one this time around either, purely because labour and delivery is so unpredictable. You have no idea what is going to happen when it's time for baby to arrive. So I'd rather just go with the flow rather than get my hopes up and I'd be disappointed at the end of the day. The only difference is between Rosa and this pregnancy is I have just paid for a hypnobirthing course because I want to feel more in control of my labour and the pain. With Rosa, I didn't have any hypnobirthing. I just didn't do any courses, mainly because it was lockdown and there was absolutely nothing on, but I could have gone online. Well, I watched YouTube and videos and stuff, but still, it just, I wasn't prepared. Not that you can be fully prepared for labour and delivery, but I wasn't prepared. Like, I felt like it got to a point with Rosa where I just wasn't breathing. The contractions, the pain completely took over me, and I had to have an epidural. I just could not go on. I was exhausted. The pain was too much. And there's nothing wrong with an epidural at all. Like, if I need to have it again, I will. but I would love to be able to go into labour more positive, more prepared, more in control of my pain. So yeah, I have paid for a hypnobirthing course. Jay's doing it with me as well, because your birthing partner should be your spokesperson. And he was with Rosa, but like I said, neither of us were prepared. We didn't really educate ourselves. We went in completely blind, basically. And this time around, I don't want to do that, and he wants to just support me basically in any way he can. So he is doing the course with me, which is lovely. So hopefully we can be just more ready for labour. Fingers crossed. But like I said, you have no idea what's going to happen. You just don't know. Okay, so there was a couple of questions about newborn essentials, what I've already bought for baby girl, a hospital bag. So I'm not going to answer these in this video. I am actually going to dedicate a video to newborn essentials and a second video dedicated to my hospital bag and baby girl's hospital bag. So I'm not going to cover them topics now because I feel like there's a lot to say. Also, I've not finished shopping for baby girl yet. There's still quite a lot of bits that I need to get for her. So yeah, I'm going to do a separate video on newborn essentials, definitely. I'm going to wrap this up now because I feel like I've been talking for ages and I've sort of covered everything I wanted to cover. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have found this video useful, helpful in some way. Please comment below anything you want to know more about, or any sort of tips and tricks and advice that you guys have if you're going through your first, second or even third trimester, because it's going to help someone and it might even help me. So yeah, do comment below and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!